Today we will be repairing the brakes on the 7240. We've already disassembled both sides. Take a look. On this side the discs are burnt. Just like here, take a look. The plates have already warped, they've become distorted. You can see that there's no lining left here at all. It's worn down. Look at what happened to the plate. It's warped. The next disc and the next plate are the same. We disassembled this side first because the problem was that this wheel was breaking much later than the other one. But when we saw what was here, we also took apart the other side. The other side is better. But we'll also replace the disc there, so the whole set is done. That's how it looks. The seats are like this, practically everything is in perfect condition. The ring gear. Now we're cleaning all of these pieces right here because they were glued with Loctite. So everything needs to be thoroughly cleaned, and very soon we'll start the assembly process. Here, it's good on this side because this tank is smaller. Otherwise we would have had to remove the tank because the larger tanks are such that they go over the final drive, they wrap around the final drive. But here it's the smaller tank, so we managed without taking the tank off. So we'll probably put this one in first since we have it on the cart. On
the cart?
And the other one later, right? Yeah.
This
pan I'll wash and we'll take the wheelbarrow, soak it in oil, and then... Here, look, we have the discs. A complete set of discs, because here you need 4 discs on one side. We bought 8, and all the spaces have been bought. Now I'll soak these discs nicely in oil so they get saturated with it. And we'll be assembling it in a moment. Here's the other side, and the other side is much better than the previous one. As you can see. One spacer is a bit burnt, but it's not warped. But here we'll make a complete set. We'll replace the whole set of discs because first of these discs are from a different manufacturer, they're replacements, so it's better to have the same discs and spacers throughout the whole tractor. Here is the entire brake cylinder. This is what it looks like. As you can see, here's the piston. The piston is fine, the seal is fine. I'll still take this apart here, clean it and check it. But at first glance, it looks okay. And here are these 2 holes. Oh, that just fell out on me. Here are the 2 holes. One of these specific holes is designed to supply essential oil directly to the piston, while the other hole carefully distributes that oil to thoroughly lubricate the various discs that are integrated within the comprehensive gearbox lubrication system. That's how it looks. Alright, I'm going to soak the bucket, these discs, we'll clean everything up, and I'll show you how we assemble it all step by step. Did you clean it? Alright, put it down. We'll pour in some oil and the discs. Oh, wipe off the water. And we'll throw in the discs, let them soak. And we'll go move that other tractor. Let them soak in the meantime, right? Look, these are a bit different. They have cutouts here. That's a replacement part, right?
Were the other ones solid? The other ones were solid.
Originals, but an original one costs 800 zloty each. And...
How much? No.
Honestly, around 100 zloty. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. That is absolutely correct.
In the end, we'll try it. It's not that much work to take apart the brakes. It's a day's work. Not even that, if you wanted, you'd have the part and the time for it. We'll put that in, and those spacers too. And we can do the whole set because some of the discs could still be used, but we'll keep those as spares, and it's better to maybe put in all the same ones. Will they fit? What? Yes, because they'll let it into the gearbox. Because there's... you can play with this specific piece in the front right over there, right? Alright, I think this setup is going to work out perfectly. This entire section will be carefully preserved. Take a look, this is what the piston looks like after being taken out. Yes, this piston comes as a whole, together with the seals. You buy it as a complete unit. I checked the seal here. Everything is fine. So I'm leaving this piston in. I'm not replacing it with a new one. A new one costs, I don't want to lie, about 600 zlotys. That's how much such a piston cost. And I'm going to leave it here because it's good, everything is sealed well, it's fine. And so, look, as I have already mentioned, this specific channel right here is what supplies the piston. Here is a small opening, and then through the other one, the essential lubrication for the discs is carefully distributed. You can clearly see it right here, flowing through this internal channel. So here, I have nicely placed it in some fresh, clean oil, and now everything is perfectly okay and ready to go. It should work without any problems. Now we're going to insert the brake discs. Here are the pins on which the fixed discs rest. As you can see, there are 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these pins support the last disc that goes in, the fixed disc that goes between the piston and the friction disc. And its job is also to hold some springs so that the piston always returns to its position, keeping the discs loose while driving. So take a look. And here oil flows through this channel for lubrication. It comes out here to lubricate the discs, and it also goes additionally to the differential mechanism, as I saw when we blew air through it. It came out here and is distributed somewhere else as well. So, from the channel I showed earlier, it passes here for lubrication. The first disc goes in as an example. We put it onto these locating pins. I accidentally put it in the wrong way because I realized there are actually no pins located here at all. Oh, alright, I see one now. Okay, let's take a look at the clutch disc. Here we have 4 of them to deal with. This is the clutch disc, so now at least we are doing it in a way so that it finally stands up on its own. Wait, let me double check this part again before we move forward.
Or maybe right where you're standing now, let's take those 4 and let's move them over there.
Bring it closer. And now we are going to install the spacer plate, all right into its position. There, we'll need to pull it out so it can drain. Otherwise it can't keep leaking in there. It'll be hard for us now with the spacer plate. We need to set it in the gap, more or less. Spacer plate disc. 3rd one. So here's the 4th spacer plate. The other way around. Yes. There it is. And the disc. That's the whole set, right? And now this spacer plate.
The metal sheet.
Now, take a look at the final spacer plate in the assembly. It's unique because it has these additional protruding tabs located right here. And these tabs are designed to sit firmly against these 3 pins. This is exactly how it should look when positioned correctly. How do you put it on?
Wait, I think like this.
And now it works like this. These pins rest against this disc here. And it rests here and acts as a spring, so that later the piston returns to its position and doesn't press on the discs. That's how it works. That's why these pins rest here. And now, we can finally finish the process by closing everything up, using the main cylinder and the matching piston. Alright, and now we put in the cylinder, right? Do these pins fit in? Will you put it in, or should I?
Do it. Wait, the screws.
Go ahead and get them ready for me. Now, did you make sure to screw in this plug right here?
Yes. Or should we take it off? Well,
If we do it like this, it'll leak. The Loctite will, right?
here.
If you unscrew it, the oil will just drip out through the plug.
You currently have 2 of them for now. And right over here are the ones for this side. Well, let's see.
And now we carefully cover the entire brake assembly. Regarding these 5 specific pins, this is where the M16 bolt goes. We need to tighten it securely. Let me see, how many of them are there in total? There are 6, I think, right?
Yes, you are absolutely correct about that. Indeed.
We'll tighten it, and then we'll put these pipes on here. The bolts that hold the brake pressure plate are tightened to 197 Newton meters. As we can see right here, look, the brake piston is supplied through this opening, and a pipe goes right in here. To this, an elbow fitting is attached, and a pipe is connected that controls the brake piston. And this second pipe here, as I mentioned earlier, is responsible for lubricating the brake disc. Here we'll replace the O-rings on these pipes because there's an O-ring at the bottom that seals in this opening, and at the top it seals here. I can't pull out one of the pipes because the other pipes are in the way, but I'll replace the O-ring here from the bottom. I replace the O-rings from below, insert them from above, and screw on the fittings. Okay? The O-rings have already been replaced. The size that goes here is 1.78 by 10 millimeters. We have to remember that when inserting the O-rings we should do it from the top, because there's a chamfer at the top. If we try to insert the pipe from the bottom before installing the cylinder, the O-ring could get torn, because there's no installation chamfer at the bottom like there is at the top. Now we insert the shaft, which needs to go here into the discs and into the service mechanism. To make assembly easier, we have these two bent rods. We insert them here between the teeth on one side and the other, and then we remove the shaft. Alright, give me that shaft. Okay, once it's in there, do we need just one of these? We need to insert the rod here.
How exactly then? Does this actually work?
As you can clearly observe here, the main drive shaft is already inserted into its position. These specialized alignment rods made the entire process of assembly much more straightforward and efficient for us because the internal discs are sitting a bit lower. They're essentially hanging, and it would have been quite difficult to insert the shaft otherwise. That is exactly why we utilize these rods. First, to ensure that every single component is perfectly aligned with the discs, since there are 4 separate discs to manage, and with the help of these rods, we successfully managed to lift the discs up a bit so the shaft fit perfectly onto them. Now we can carefully remove the rods, and the unit is already fully assembled. Next, we will proceed to install the entire final drive assembly. As you can see, we have the final drive right here on the transport cart, and we are slowly bringing it in with the cart now. We have to remember that this shaft always needs to be installed first, and only then do we align it with the teeth here using this shaft. I still need to put the fittings on top here and connect them before installing the final drive. New O-rings will also go here. I'll assemble it in a moment. I'm also replacing the O-rings on these fittings here. Look, the point is that this nut is movable in relation to the fitting. So, there's a groove here for the O-ring, and there's a recess here where the O-ring is supposed to fit and seal. That's why we need to remember how to assemble it. We screw this fitting in by hand until it stops. Obviously the nut has to be pulled back so that the groove for the O-ring is here, so that the O-ring can fit in. We tighten it all the way until it stops. We set it in the position we want it to be in, and then we tighten the nut all the way. You need to make sure not to leave it too loosely screwed in. And if we tighten the nut, the O-ring will only go onto the thread, and it will also be wrong if the nut is screwed out too far upwards and we screw it in, and again the O-ring will be on the thread. The O-ring must sit exactly where it is supposed to, where the groove is. So I'll keep assembling this. Here, I already have it mounted, and here as well. On the ORFS, I'm also replacing the O-rings with new ones. I always blow out all the fittings before tightening them so there are no contaminants or dirt inside. You have to remember that. we also need to remember to stick this plug on with grease so it doesn't fall out. Let's take this wad and make sure it holds well when inserting, because once it happened to us that it fell out.
Does this side go there, the gray one?
Gray. No, the other way around. So which side do you need to grease? This one, yeah. Put a thick layer on, don't be stingy.
You think so?
Yeah. No, it'll squeeze out anyway. And it'll stick there.
There's nothing hard here. Then cut it open. No, it's there. It's just soft.
We need to order those extras because we're out. Is it holding? Alright. And
If you weren't... Wait, because I'd fucking smash myself.
show that. Maybe you should grease it there on the tractor. Because then you'll know up to which point. Because here, well, you're edging.
Such a tread, let me move it.
No, it won't go to waste. Show which one we're using. This one. A replacement. Do you want...
This one? Cut this open? Yeah.
Wait, maybe I'll go a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that table away. Somewhere over there where we had the end of that glue left, we had to cut it open and spread it with a finger. And I'll start on the other side too, right? No.
I'll tell you, maybe there will still be some left. There's even still some from the other part here, right? Yeah.
So what, we're going down with this, right? Just don't forget to take the rags. Alright. This is degreased, right? Did you clean it? And we're going down. Okay, let's go. Lego. We need to take the stands, right? So you all can fit. No, I played on the terrace.
Straight. It's not that simple. This
You'll straighten it out later.
and backwards. Fine. Well, take the palm tree. Here it is different.
But what? Because it's
Well, we thought that this...
to keep it from falling off the card. Okay, then let go of that belt. Come on.
Well, that's sideways. Because the board is loaded differently. There was no other way.
How?
Was this at height?
This is a disservice. So that it doesn't fall. And
Did you adjust the height of the stroller? Or not? Now? Well, they drove her away, didn't she? Wait. We are not moving up.
moving further up.
Must be given. No.
Wait. Maybe you need to turn it around. With a roller.
And we still have to screw this on like this.
You come in backwards like this? Yeah.
She doesn't have to go downstairs?
This is specifically intended and designed for...
Do you want mountains?
Well, come on, put it up. Well, you can't see, there's no wheel mirror.
Alright. Yeah.
By
Twisted?
well, this is where you would have to twist it a little.
Do you want to spin?
Come on. Do you understand?
I don't get it.
And why not turn it around? Here? And turn it in one direction? Oh. That's also how it is. Something is catching on. However, you have to give it a go. Alright. And now turn it. One way, then the other.
I think we have to pull it to the third one. Careful. Yes.
It was definitely a mistake to remove it from that specific spot. Because the tank is actually right over here. I believe that it is quite simply and completely impossible.
You still need to turn it. You have to unscrew it a bit to loosen it. Yeah?
Just a tiny bit more. Almost there, keep going, just a little more and more.
It needs to go down. Down.
Down?
Yeah. Turn a little. Turn a bit. Okay, now turn it, Sebastian. Aren't you moving? More. Lower yourself a bit more. Alright. Raise it up a little. With the cart.
It's catching.
No, it's not catching. Push a bit more. Push a bit more. There. Yes, back up. It was good I had it loose for a moment. So pull it up here. Maybe by this,
Upwards?
Yeah, that's right. There. I think you need to use the wrench. It already caught those two coils, so you need to use the wrench a bit more. It'll get there soon, right?
Yeah, that is exactly right.
Yeah, because it was standing unevenly on the cart.
You see, you couldn't drive in with the cart there, because here already.
No, not at all.
So, tighten it by hand. Because if it's not caught properly and you use the impact wrench, it'll get bent right away. No, it's good, it's going now. Maybe try it, then it'll...
In order to ensure that...
As soon as it finally jumps onto those wooden dowels, that will be the end of it.
And in addition to that...
Wait a minute, let's look at this other bolt over here. There's something completely off because the second bolt isn't catching either. Because for some reason...
It needs to be unscrewed to...
Cart must go down.
Wait, could you please hold on for just a moment?
Something's catching here, the next one.
We should have put something under here.
Or rotated it. Just a bit toward this side.
Give that one a push.
That sounds perfectly fine. To me.
We did it. Now we'll tighten all the bolts and it's done. Remember about this cushion here, right? It goes in the cabin. Here, take a look. On the other side, it was disassembled and someone put an O-ring under this fitting, and this is what it looks like. It was too thick and got crushed. It's the same on this side, so you need to remember to choose O-rings according to the correct size. Here the O-rings are in inches and the thickness is 2.62. I already have such O-rings, I found them, and I'm installing the original ones. You can't do it the other way because it will start leaking after some time. That's not how it's done, so that's how it looks. Remember, this O-ring has to be here, placed in this spot, not on the thread. At this point, we screw in the fitting all the way and then tighten it with the nut, just as I showed earlier. Here, take a look, this side is already assembled, everything including the bracket for the cushion. Also, when we disassemble here, we have to remember that the cab needs to be suspended, supported here if we're unscrewing the cushions. If you're only removing one, then it's not necessary, but if you're removing both, you have to suspend it so it stays in place. And now everything is assembled, we need to load the bell housing onto the cart, and we'll be lowering it down in a moment, right?
You don't know how... That's true, actually. Go ahead and take the front of the vehicle, then carefully hook up the front. Make sure you hook up the front of the cart securely. And then please give me that. Pass me that metal locking pin right now. Yes, that is exactly what I need.
As you can see, look, we've already assembled the left and right sides here. We haven't put the wheel on yet today because we're still going to replace the lights with LED ones here in the fenders, and we're installing that LED strip on top. And at the front, the lights have also been replaced with those for the future from China. We've already got all of this done here. And soon the tractor will be ready. So that's all for today's episode about these brakes. Thank you for your attention. Best regards. Bye.